Welcome to the Thinking Green News Moment. I'm Chris Schneider. Today my guest is Eric Pipkin with Pipkin Electric. Welcome back, Eric.
It's good to be back, Chris. Thank you.
It's good to be able to talk about all of the exciting things that you do at Pipkin Electric because you're quite versatile.
We do a lot of different interesting projects.
So tell us what is happening this year.
Well, the renewable energy has been increasing in quantity very dramatically in the last couple of years. We've seen an increase in solar alone of a couple of 100% in the last 2 years, although we still see activity with small wind turbines and some micro hydroelectric as well.
Interesting. So the solar is what's really happening for you this year.
The solar has really taken the front spot in the business, I think mostly because it's somewhat a lesser investment to get going in it, but it also is far more applicable to most customers. Not everybody has a really great wind resource. In fact, in our part of the state, it's a little sketchy, which of course is why a very good site assessment is required for wind. But for solar, it works just about everywhere.
You know, a lot of people in this side of the state aren't convinced that we have good solar.
Well, believe it or not, it works very, very well here. And we can very accurately predict what the system output will be over the course of a year.
So you recommend an assessment for solar as well?
Absolutely. We need to do an assessment, number one, to determine what their needs are, what their power consumption is, and to get a system that actually fits that specific customer.
And right now you're in the process of doing a relatively larger system for what your experience has been.
We've got several systems that are in the works right now, everywhere from 10 kW up to 50s. And we've got a few things on the board right now, too, that'll go beyond that as well.
And typical home consumption in our area runs about...
As far as power consumption?
Yes.
Probably the average that I see is somewhere in the 1,300 to 1,700 kilowatt hours per month, although I see extremes on either end of that.
But obviously the 50K system that you're doing is not for residents.
No, those will be small commercial systems. Yep.
So you're working both in the residential marketplace and the commercial marketplace as well?
That is correct. Yep.
And you have seen a rapid growth, and is the growth more in the residential or commercial side, or are you seeing it equally?
It's very much equal at this time, although the larger systems are still going to the commercial projects, mainly because of the economics. Although we're starting to get some very large systems for residential, it's starting to shift away from just backup power or auxiliary power, and it's becoming an investment point.
And what percentage of systems would you say you're doing that are off-grid or grid-tied?
99+% are grid-tied. There are a few scattered here and there that will be a hybrid system where they perhaps are grid-tied with battery backup. However, that tends to add cost and complexity to the system.
Sure. And then are there still incentives that are available, Eric?
Absolutely. As of right now, the 30% federal tax credit is in effect. And depending upon where a person lives, there probably will be focus on energy money available through the state as well. If a customer is in an area that's not covered by focus on energy, chances are the local co-op probably has some type of an internal program.
And is there a sunsetting on that incentive?
The federal tax credit is good through December 31st of this year, and we, of course, hope it gets renewed. And then the focus on energy is a year-to-year as well.
So if viewers have interest, now is the time for them to get an assessment and make commitments on getting the systems installed.
Absolutely, and this year has been no different than any other year. We always see a rush at the end of the year. I just closed on another system this morning that has to be in by December 31st and running. It's also important for people to bear in mind that this is not like walking into a store and just purchasing something. From the time they sign a contract until the time the system is up and running might be a month or two. It takes some time.
Well, congratulations on the great solar movement this year for you, Eric.
Thank
Thanks
you
for your efforts. This is Chris Schneider with the Thinking Green News Moment.